Okay, so this is going to be a recap of the other one, season 1, episode 6, the Pre-Nup drink up. So it's the day of their, I guess, wedding party, the day before the wedding, and Cathy and Marcus are going over their checklist to make sure they got everything, all their ducks in a row. So Marcus tossed the car keys to Cathy as they're about to leave. And she missed the keys, they hit the wall, and there's this scuff on this wall. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because this scuff became more, it was always more than just a scuff on the wall.
Yeah.
Shit balls.
So now we go to the party, and Tess she's back. And Tess and Dawn, they're at the party, and Dawn, I guess, is getting on Tess' nerves. Tess is irritable, she's just being her. So Marcus' parents arrive, and she is she kind of like she's like kissing their behind, right? And so her sister Dawn ends up having to introduce herself to the father, and she basically said that, it's a pleasure to meet you, doctor. I forget the last name. And then he says, actually it's Mr. And Tess was like, oh, don't be so modest. He was like, no, that's the proper, I guess, greeting for a doctor.
Please call me Mr.
Oh, don't be so modest.
No, I'm a surgeon. The correct title is Mr.
But he was such an ass about it. And so you see his wife, which is Marcus' mom, sitting there. You see she got this look on her face like, I just really don't want to be here. And so he eventually turns to her, and first the father, he's like, God, I could use a drink. And so he turns to his wife, go get me a drink. Like, he's ordering her around. It was cringe. Okay.
Think I deserve a drink. Get me a glass, will you, darling?
Marilyn and Kat arrives, and of course Dawn, she's just being her playful self, and she waves, she acknowledges them. Tess is just outdone. She doesn't want them to be there. She just doesn't want them around, and she turns to her sister and is like, you got lipstick on your teeth. And she kind of scowls and kind of walks off, right?
You've got lipstick on your teeth.
So the first time this comes up, the wall scuff, Kat walks over to Cathy, who's having a conversation with Christopher, if you remember him, the voice from episode 1, and she's talking to him about saying that she's talking to him about how to get this scuff off the wall. And of course Kat is like, girl, this is your party, why are you even worried about some scuff on the wall?
I was just picking Sir's brains about the wall scuff.
What are you stressing about a scuff on the wall for?
So Marcus, so you flash to Marcus's mom. She runs to the table and basically grabs 2 glasses of wine for herself. She can clearly see that she's just not having a good time. So Marilyn's over by the table, and she was like, oh, did you need to top off?
Do you need a top up?
And so she, filled her glass again. And they started talking, and of course she, this is Marcus' mom, let her know that she's the mother of the groom. She was like, oh, and she was like, so she was asking Marilyn about herself. And she had to make some inappropriate comment about how she was the daughter's father's lover for 3 decades. And so the mom kind of made the facial expression like, okay.
I made love to Cathy's father for 3 glorious decades.
So Marcus is over having a conversation with someone, and Cathy pulls him to the side. And again, this damn scuff on the wall is driving her crazy. But we know the scuff is more than just a scuff. So she wants him to leave their party to take her to some DIY store so she can get some paint so she can clear this up, because it's going to drive her crazy if they have to go on their honeymoon and the scuff is there. And of course he's like, it's our party, it's not that important, just let's let it go. And she, agreed, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna move on.
Bit of an odd one, but that scuff on the wall is really bothering me, and I was just wondering whether you could nip me to the DIY store.
So Kat is trying to be helpful, so she's like, grabbing the trays of hors d'oeuvres and stuff. She's walking around and greeting people, and she's trying to make herself useful. So she comes out of the kitchen, and Tess corners her and basically got upset, basically told her she was upset that they were there. And she ends up pointing out Verity, who's the person she wanted to be Cathy's maid of honor, and talk about how she's a paladin and how she should have been the maid of honor and da-da-da-da.
Cat. Do you see that girl over there by the cellist, yeah? That is Verity Longworth, and she's a pilot.
And Cat basically said that she's not her sister. She's not Cat's sister. And she ended up making some comment about Tess's breath, because I guess she's, had, a few too many, right? So she just has a nasty disposition at this point. Cat catches up with Marcus. He's on his phone doing something. And she was like, oh, I hope you're not sending any more, eggplant pics. So he kind of gets nervous, like, no. So they talked for a bit. And she basically told him, in certain terms, that if he hurts Cat, that she's going to post his information all over the web and basically tell people how he sent eggplant pics to his receptionist.
No, but seriously, treat it like a princess, or I will post to all the local forums that you sent dick pics to your receptionist.
So Marilyn and Marcus's mom, they've developed a rapport. They both feel uncomfortable. Neither one of them want to be there, so they just getting drunk off their ass, just tipsy, having them a good old time. And Marcus's mom makes a comment to let you know that she really not feeling Tess.
Bet that Tess is still up Shree's arse, eh?
So at this point, Cat has approached Cathy about this damn scuff on the wall, and Cathy reluctantly agreed to leave the party to go to the damn wine store to get the paint. So they are now at the store. So they end up going to the store to get the paint. They get to the house and she realizes it's the wrong color. So of course Cathy is like, we don't even worry about it. Just put the lid back on. We can take it back when you get back from your honeymoon. You should be at your party. This should not be a big deal.
I wanted natural calico and this is bloody mineral mist.
Right, great, wicked. We'll just put the lid back on and they can take it back after your honeymoon.
So we get back to the party, and now the speeches are happening. Marcus and Cathy are called up, but of course this is when everybody realizes that Cathy is MIA. They're trying to figure out, okay, what in the world is going on with her? So while the mom is up there giving the speeches, she can see out the corner that Marilyn and Marcus's mom is all chummy. They over there cracking jokes and laughing and having them a good old time, right?
Did she just call me Misty?
Now, if you don't mind, I am...
So, eventually, Cathy ends up taking the paintbrushes from Cat ends up taking the paintbrushes from Cathy, and they kind of have a tussle, and Cathy runs up and locks herself in the bathroom. So eventually Tess arrives at the house, and she was basically like, you better have a good reason for not, being at this party. And so they get downstairs. This is Cathy, Cat and Tess. They go downstairs, and Cathy is basically trying to paint the walls with her hand. She's emotional, because obviously, again, it was more than just the scuff on the wall. And so her mom ends up giving her a hug, and Cat ends up giving both of them a hug. You can see her mom, Tess's face, like, girl, get on away from here. But they have them a nice conversation, and she actually thanked Tess for being there for Cat. She actually thanked Cat for being there for Cathy, and they go on and they go in and paint the wall. So it's the next morning, the day of the wedding. They overslept. So Tess jumps out of bed and she's trying to get Cathy, like, girl, get up, we're running late, and then this is when she finally admits that she doesn't she doesn't love Marcus, and that she hasn't loved him for a while, and she was afraid to say anything because her mom, how her mom has been, reacting, to the death of their father, and she didn't want to let her mom down. And then it was like a reality check for her mom, like, okay, I could have, handled some things better. And so she just basically embraced her, and they just stayed in bed. So the next thing you see flash to the airport. Marcus is not at the wedding either. He's actually about to board a flight with his receptionist.
Did you speak to her?
No, I texted Mum. I thought it was best to let the dust settle.
Are you sure that you want to do this?
So basically, had she shown up to the church, to the wedding, he would have stood her up at the altar. So he didn't show up at the wedding. And it ends with Cathy, with Cat calling Cathy to let her know that Marcus didn't show up and that she was stood up. And so if Cathy felt like, well, no, I'm the one that was doing the standing up. So now she feel like he Like he kind of one-upped her by him not showing up.
No. Me. I stood him up at the altar.
That's pretty much how this episode ends.